Back in the book segment tonight, Charles in Charge, where we ask Fox News analyst Charles Krauthammer to find important things that we the people may not know about. Tonight, the inside story of America's anti-terror policies as they stand now. Dr. Krauthammer joins us from Washington. So, what should we know that we don't know about the anti-terror policies of the Obama administration?
Well, one thing that hasn't been covered, there's been a lot of coverage of the guy who tried to blow up the airplane over Detroit, said he got his Miranda rights, he's been quiet and all that. But what's not known, or at least it wasn't covered as much, is the fact that when the Director of National Intelligence was asked about this in hearings a couple of weeks ago, he said, well, he shouldn't have been given his Miranda rights. He should instead have been interrogated by the HIG, which stands for High Value Detainee Interrogation Group. Now, this was a unit supposedly established by the Obama administration to interrogate the guys who know stuff. Now, remember, 3 days in his presidency, Obama ostentatiously abolished the Bush interrogation policies. He had a study. In August, it was announced that the HIG would be set up in its place. Well, it turns out that it did not even exist at the time of the attempted attack on Christmas. It doesn't exist today. They are still looking for office space in Virginia. That tells you 1 year into this administration, we do not have this elite element, the group, which can get valuable information out of a terrorist who may know something.
All right, so let's do the timeline. In August, President Obama says, look, we're going to have this high-value interrogation team, like a SWAT team for questioning, and they're going to be available if anybody's captured. All right, that's August. Christmas bombing deal happens. They're not around. Now it's February 2nd. They're looking for office space. So who's the villain? Who's supposed to be in charge of that? Who would this team answer to?
Well, ultimately, the buck stops with the president. He can't look after every detail. But if he makes a big deal about abolishing the old interrogation techniques, as he did in every speech from Cairo all the way to Oslo, he ought to at least inquire as to whether there's been a substitute according to the principles he would enunciate.
But who would be in charge? Who would he?
Well, the way it was structured in August, it was announced it would be in the FBI, and it would be overlooked by the White House.
So Mueller would be in charge of the nuts and bolts, and then the White House would oversee Mueller.
The White House.
So Mueller hasn't done his job, and I'm sure Mueller will have a story to tell about why he hasn't done his job. But the bottom line is there's no high-value interrogation unit around. We have office space here, Charles, by the way, in New York, if they'd like to come in, and we would be able to get them some office space.